In a time when Israel was tired of the unpredictable leadership of judges, the people demanded a king to lead them, desiring to be like the surrounding nations. Samuel, the prophet, was distressed by this request, knowing it reflected Israel's rejection of God's kingship. But God told Samuel to heed the people's demand. In response, God chose a man named Saul, son of Kish, from the tribe of Benjamin, a tall, handsome young man who stood out among his people. When Samuel first met Saul, he anointed him with oil, declaring him the chosen leader of Israel. Initially, Saul was humble, hiding among the supplies when Samuel called him to be presented as king. This humility marked his early days as king and endeared him to the people. Saul's first major task came when the Ammonites, led by Nahash, threatened the city of Jabesh-Gilead. Saul, moved by the Spirit of God, rallied Israel's tribes and led them to victory, bringing the people together in a powerful display of unity and strength. Following this victory, the people renewed their loyalty to Saul as king, and he ruled with a spirit of humility and respect for God's guidance. Samuel, recognizing Saul's promising start, gathered the people at Gilgal to reaffirm their commitment to God, warning them and Saul that they must obey God if they wished to see continued blessings. In those early years, Saul respected Samuel's role as prophet and priest, seeking his advice and prayers. He led with courage, strengthened by God's blessing, as he defended Israel against its enemies. However, Saul's reign was not without tests. One key moment came when the Philistines prepared to wage war against Israel at Gilgal. Samuel instructed Saul to wait 7 days for him to come and offer a sacrifice before they went into battle. As the 7 days passed and Samuel delayed, Saul's troops began to scatter. Feeling pressured, Saul took it upon himself to offer the sacrifice, stepping into a role reserved for priests. Just as he finished, Samuel arrived and rebuked Saul for his disobedience. By disregarding God's instructions, Saul began a pattern of relying on his own judgment instead of God's. This event marked a turning point in Saul's reign. Although he continued to lead Israel successfully in battle for some time, this first act of disobedience foreshadowed the pride and impatience that would later distance him from God. Despite his early promise, Saul's failure to fully trust in God's timing began to erode his character and relationship with God. Applications: humility and obedience go hand in hand. Saul's early humility allowed him to rely on God, but when he acted in pride, he lost his focus on obedience. Humility is essential in our relationship with God, as it keeps us dependent on Him. Patience in God's timing. Saul's impatience at Gilgal teaches us the importance of waiting on God. Acting out of fear or impatience can lead us away from God's path and plan for our lives. Respecting God's boundaries. Saul's decision to perform the sacrifice showed a lack of respect for the roles God assigned. We should respect God's boundaries and purposes for our lives, recognizing that His way is always best. Consequences of disobedience. This story illustrates that even one act of disobedience can have lasting consequences. Obeying God's instructions is essential to maintaining a close relationship with Him. God as the true leader. Saul's story reminds us that, while leaders play important roles, God remains the ultimate leader. When we place our full trust in Him, He guides us through challenges,